everyone.
No.
Welcome to another episode of E-Commerce and Friends. This is our last series for 2023, and we recently went through some changeover in our staff, and one of those changeovers was Emily, and we gained her as our community manager, but upon gaining her, we also gained an entrepreneur who owns 2 businesses. And I'm like, whoa, what? Why are you coming to work for someone when you have 2 businesses that you own? But that's a question for later, right? So I will first and foremost say welcome to E-Commerce and Friends. We will be kicking this off again next year in 2024, and we have some exciting speakers coming, not just entrepreneurs, but some of the platforms that you may use will be a part of the mix-up. So stay tuned, continue to follow us. I'll share more about that at the end. But for now, we'll just go ahead and dive in so keep you respectful of your time. If you haven't already, feel free to go ahead and now grab a drink, grab a soda, grab a cookie, and we'll get started. But if you're at the restaurant, feel free to interrupt and go ahead and go. You're not in prison here. Well, I will introduce our speaker. Emily is a mom of 4, school board member, and successful e-commerce and brick-and-mortar business owner. She is the proud founder of Little Threads, a resale boutique, and Maxine's, a full-service boutique. In addition to her own businesses, Emily is a passionate advocate for small business collaboration and community building. She is a member of the Woodbine Mainstreet Promotions Committee and the founder of Ladies Day Out, a county-wide event that showcases local small businesses as a fundraiser for Check the Girls, a breast cancer nonprofit. She also recently became the vice president of the school board.
Well,
so,
not yet.
But she will be.
On Monday.
On next Monday. Yeah.
It'll be all.
She has also consulted and aided many business friends to start their dreams, including 3 local boutiques in her own area. Emily is a strong believer in collaborations between small businesses. She is excited to share her insights and experiences with the audience to help other entrepreneurs achieve their dreams. To me, she is our community manager. To me, she has become I've seen her as an excellent mother to 4 beautiful children and an amazing wife to her husband that's here with us today, and also a good friend. So everyone give it up for Emily Fitzgibbon. So we'll get started here. Have some questions for her. To start, can you share a bit about your background? What led you to starting Little Threads and Maxine? Which came first? How did it happen?
Okay, so Little Threads actually came first. We've been open for 6 years. It was never, ever my plan to have a clothing store. I will not sit here and tell you it was my dream to have a clothing store at all. My dream was to become a PA and work in a doctor's office or a hospital doing all those hard moment kind of things. But I was working at the med center at the time, and I got a text from my stepdaughter, who at that time was in middle school. She's like, I need an orange shirt for vocal tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, girl, how long have you known about this, first off? Second off, why an orange shirt? Like, that's the most random color. And 3, if I didn't work overnight in the city, I'm just thinking, how would we even have gotten it? Because we live an hour away. So we live in Woodbine, Iowa. And so that's when I texted a friend of mine, Amy, and I said, hey, we should just start a resale store. We need something in our community where it's close, local, to get those things that you need right down the road. You can check there first for everything. And she said, yeah, let's do it. And I remember sitting there, I was kind of like shocked. I was like, oh, like, really? Are you like, you were supposed to talk me out of this? She's like, no, let's do it. So we did. We found a yoga studio that was closing down in Missouri Valley, Iowa. And we both put in the money, we both put in the work, and we opened the business. She then found out she was expecting, and it was going to be too much for her. So later on, I did buy her out and all that stuff. And now she's my biggest customer. She comes in and gets boxes of orders of stuff to take out. Yeah, Amy. And so it's just great. So we've had that store for 6 years. And meanwhile, having a business in Missouri Valley, we had to deal with a lot of city issues. One was our sign on our building. We put it up during the COVID year. It was just like shiplap, and it was painted. It said Little Threads, all pretty. I don't know if anybody knows where Missouri Valley is or if you've been there. It's not the prettiest town, but I was doing my part to try to make it beautiful, keeping it fresh, the whole 9 yards. I got a letter in the mail saying, you need to take your sign down and you're being charged $750 a day for having it up. I said, oh, no. No, I'm not, because I read the ordinance. It says it has to be a metal or illuminating sign where I get a permit. So after this whole thing went down, I was very big on, you need to vote for better. This town wants growth. We need to vote for better. We need to do better. But I can't vote because I live in a different town. So you guys need to vote for better. That's when I was approached by Woodbine, a realtor in Woodbine, and she came in and she said, hey, we wouldn't treat you like that in Woodbine. You need to come to Woodbine. We have a building opening up and you need to come. By the way, she has sold us 2 commercial buildings and 2 houses since. She's really good at her job. But so then we looked into Woodbine, and I will tell you, it's a magical place. We did buy the building, which was a boutique, and we opened our own boutique in there, and that's how Maxine's came to be. Like I said, not my dream. The town wanted it, the community wanted to back it. So we were so heavily supported, and we're so thankful for that, because really we couldn't do without our community.
So you talked about some of the initial challenges of setting up the brick and mortar. So can you tell me, like, how did this transition to online, how did that component come about? And then, like, what were the challenges that you faced at the time to make you decide to go online?
So Little Threads was open during COVID. And at that point, I had 2 moms working for me, and I was not going to just shut down and cut back their money. But we needed to find a way to make the income to pay for the employees, because I was also on maternity leave. So we started by going on Facebook on our page and posting pictures. This is a size 3T, blah, blah, blah. And we said, here, you can pick it up at our door, because we had to shut down for that month. You can pick it up at our door. We can ship it to you, or if you're local, I will drop it off on your doorstep. Anything to get sales in to pay for my employees so that they had the hours, so that they would stay, because they were amazing. And that way everyone was taken care of. I didn't care if I pulled in $1. I just wanted my bills paid, and I just wanted my employees paid. So we did that for a while, and it took off like wildfire. I was delivering 20, 30 bags of houses around Missouri Valley and Logan, and I was driving some. Oh yes, sorry, my husband's like, hello. I was doing it too. Yes, he was. He was. It was a family effort. I would sit there and pack the bags. He would deliver them. I'm taking care of the baby. It was definitely a team effort to get those packages out. And that's when I sat there and I said, I need a website. I need to figure out how to do a website. And if you know me, I'm the least tech savvy person in the whole, like Josh is saying, yes, person in the whole entire world. I struggled in getting hooked up to the printer. So I had no idea where to begin, but we used Shopify, and they had a lot of different, I forget what they call it, different screens or themes. Yes, different themes. And I picked out the easiest one, because I was like, I am not getting into all that complicated stuff. I don't care about the font. We just got to get it online so we can just keep track of everything appropriately. So when it's sold out, it's marked sold out, and we're going to do this. And so from that point on, we had a website because it made it easier. But then it got crazy, because what do moms do in the middle of the night when their kids are up? They like to shop. So from 11 o'clock at night to 5 o'clock in the morning is when we get our most orders. Yep. Yeah, right? When you're sitting there scrolling. I will say in the 6 years, we went from mostly being a storefront with shoppers to now becoming more of an online. I don't know. I think it's also part of the economy. I think it's also just the different habits now that people are having, going from brick and mortar to shopping more so online, quick, easy access. It comes to your door. You don't have to haul all your kids out. even though my stores are made for kids, they're kid proof through and through. We have kid areas to color and play and the whole 9 yards. I just think there's more convenience in that factor now.
So staying on that topic, how do you stay current with e-commerce trends, and how has your business adapted to changes in customer behavior, especially in the digital space?
So I'm very creative, but I also have taken a lot of different trainings through this program where if you have a retail business or a wholesale business, that's called the Boutique Hub. It is an amazing resource, but they kind of help you stay on top. They, if you want to do live sales, they say, hey, these are the best tactics. Hey, if you want to do more on Instagram, these are the best tactics. And I'm so thankful for that program because honestly, with not having a single business background, they have taught me how to evolve and learn these different tactics for online.
So what other resources would you recommend to someone who's starting their e-commerce business, specifically a boutique or any other industry that they're getting into? What resources are out there like Boutique Hub that were very helpful to you in growing your business?
There's like the best boutiques. There's the Boutique Hub. There's so many podcasts. I could make a list of just different ways for retailers to get out there and get their name out there and really good practices. And podcast-wise goes from anything from like legal stuff, taxes, payroll. I mean, there's just so much to learn. But honestly, my whole favorite is the Boutique Hub because when you log in, you have a whole list of things. You can sit there and say, I have this question. You can click on it. You can listen to the video. You can watch the video. They do a step-by-step. They teach you how to make things work on Shopify, on Comment Sold, all of those things. So it has just been extremely helpful from someone that was so clueless.
Let's back up a little bit. So tell us about Little Threads. What is Little Threads about? And how is Little Threads impacting your business model online?
So Little Threads is children's and women's resale. So you can bring in your gently used clothes. If it's a current fashion, you bring it in, we buy it on the spot, we mark it up, we resell it. The business mind behind Little Threads was to make it so that families can take clothes that their children are grown out of and be able to use store credit to go ahead and buy new clothes. So you're basically constantly flipping. And we have so many families that have done this. I've seen items go full circle, like it's come in, it's gone out, it's come back in, including my own children's clothes. And it's very big on recycling, reusing, making green choices. So it's just kind of a different business mindset than a boutique where I think more my mind goes to fast fashion. So
What about Maxine?
Maxine's is a full boutique. So we order wholesale. I try to be as much USA wholesale as possible, and small makers. However, I do have items like earrings that come from India that are for that allow women to have a job. They're made of recycled textiles. So I like to find very unique, fun pieces that you're not going to find everywhere. And then it is full retail there.
Tell us more about your experiences as it relates to the logistical piece. So when you think about e-commerce online, there's a lot of shipping involved.
Yeah.
Especially with wholesale, with you receiving the wholesale and then you are shipping directly to customer based on orders. How's that experience been like you? What were the ebb and flow? What were the challenges? How did you come to the process that you're in now that works best?
It has taken a lot. I think I've gone through about 6 or 7 different label printers. There's some that I have never even was able to get set up, even with my husband's help. I mean, that's how bad it was. And if you buy those, you know they're not cheap. Shipping procedure wise, like different things, I've learned that my customers respond better when I put in a handwritten thank you note. So I always make sure to do that. Or if I have staff that's doing it, I say, I want you to write a thank you note. Like no matter what, it has to be in there and thank them. But we have gone from me just trying to throw things in a plastic bag to, even though it's a bright teal bag, it goes missing because it's the holidays. And then it eventually shows up 4 months later with footprints all over it back to me. So it is a struggle. Shipping is a struggle all the time, especially during the holidays. Trusting that it's going to get there. But we have our own processes. So now I have learned that we need to double bag. So we don't double bag with the poly mailers, but we use kind of like a plastic like clothing bag. That way, if it does get torn, it's not messing up your inventory. And then you don't have an unhappy customer that's messaging you saying, hey, this has a black mark on it and all that. There's always a thank you card. And sometimes I send little gifts as well, like a pair of earrings or something, like extra inventory. I'm just trying to get out the door. Like, okay, here's a cute, pair of earrings for you. They'll match your outfit. Or this is very you, because you get to learn your clientele. And then we get it sent out. Where I'm at, since we are brick and mortar, we have to take it to the post office, which is also kind of a pain in the butt. Or I should say my husband takes it to the post office because I'm at work. And sometimes I have to call him and remind him to take it to the post office. So, I mean, it's never ending. And I feel like there's always areas to improve on that. Always. And there always will be. But it's just a learning as we go.
What about your experience with manufacturing and getting manufacturers shipping your items?
Oh.
What does that wholesale process look like? And then, like, what are the challenges or that you face there, whether it be looking for manufacturers, whether it be looking for wholesales, like, what is that challenge? So a lot of people, e-commerce businesses, there's a lot of information out there about how to get it to your customer.
Right.
Well, what about the materials getting to you?
Right. So one of my favorite wholesalers, and I will be very honest with you, is Fair. So Fair like opens up the whole entire world for wholesale clothing. Now, make sure you read the reviews, but at the same time, it's very difficult when you order things in the pictures. They look very high quality. They look great. They're going to be amazing. They look soft. And you get them, and it feels like plastic. And it's so wrinkled up because they used a vacuum sealer to shrink it down into the box that you're never going to get those wrinkles out. I have been there probably way too many times that I should tell you because I should learn my lesson. But things like that's always difficult because then you have to reach out and you need a shipping label back and you want to send it back because there's no way you're going to sell that. And you're not going to sit on it because, it costs you money. So that's always been very difficult. However, with Fair, they have really good reviews. They ask you to always write a review. So you can always go back and review and someone will say, oh, this is really cheap stuff. We don't trust this brand. This wasn't good. The brand response wasn't good. But they also do offer things like net 60 terms. So if you are starting a retail business where you can order stuff and then you have 60 days to pay for it back, which is actually really useful if you have major, huge events. But wholesale-wise, they're my favorite so far. There's also Fashion Go. There's Hubvatory. There's lots of different options as well. But always read the reviews and be prepared if you feel like you love something, it's going to come and it's going to be kind of crappy. So I have learned.
Are there any specific strategies that you have employed to encourage cross-channel engagement? So between in-person and online, how do you bring the two together? Right.
I think it's just being real. Like being a real person. I'm not Amazon. I'm not Facebook. I'm not some major corporate company. And if I make a mistake or my staff makes a mistake, I will sit here and say, hey, this was my bad. I'm sorry. Here's a $25 gift card for next time. I'm not perfect. I got a lot of things going on. I got 4 kids. They're all yelling at me because they want goldfish. So it just gets to this point that, just being a real person and explaining, hey, I'm sorry. And that has helped a lot when there comes to be problems. But just them also knowing that I'm this real person that's not trying to be corporate or a big, huge company, and them coming in with their kids. They are very welcomed. My stores are childproof. The kids can do flips on our metal clothing bars and it'll last forever. They have chalk tables. There's snacks behind the counter. I can't tell you how many kids go behind the counter because they know there's snacks back there. And you know what? They're allowed to have one if mom says it's okay. So we just get this very personable, warm, welcome tone online with our thank you notes. And then most of the time, if it's online, it's from people we've reached through vendor events who have also seen me at Play as Mom at vendor events. But also, or in our store, where they know that they're not just shopping from some corporate company. They're shopping from a real person that's thankful, that's just doing their best. So
what do you do to keep them engaged online? So you talked about sending warm thank you notes via in your shipping, but like when on your social media platforms, on your website, how do you engage your online audience? So I can only imagine they're not just in Iowa, they're not just in Nebraska. How do you keep that audience engaged with you? Is marketing? How did you build a brand? Like, what was that strategy?
So that was like a whole new world, because I will be honest, I would not have social media if I didn't have my stores. It's not my favorite. It's honestly a pain in the butt. They say like now for anyone that does retail, you should be on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, TikTok. I feel like I'm missing one, but you just constantly have to post. And you should post at least 5 times a day. And I'm sorry, that's insane. I feel like that is insane. First off, I don't want to bug people. Second off, who has that amount of time? It just gets to add up to being a lot. But I have found with engagement posts, I started doing a thing where I post, okay, this month, the person that engaged the most will get a $50 gift card to our local restaurant, our local massage therapist. So I am then cross-referencing with other local small businesses that people love, and then they love that because we're working together. So the person that, engages the most, like, so they'll post a picture or something like they're wearing from my store, or they will comment on things, or they'll share things. I mean, it all comes down like a point system kind of, and it has worked out so well because they get competitive, and it's really fun to watch. Like this last one, I was like down to like 4 more minutes, and I had one person post 6 pictures like right at the end, and I'm like, whoa, like you're definitely competitive and you just won. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. Tagging wherever I'm at. If I'm wearing an outfit and I make my husband be a photographer, and I'm like, take a picture. And so he has to take a picture of me, and I tag where I'm at. It's just, constantly crossed referencing and branding with other brands and other businesses and showing a partnership. And I feel like that really pushes it over the edge.
Say that again. So when you wear your items, when you use your products, you're tagging yourself where you are, so that when people are looking at that location, they're actually seeing you and your products.
Yes. Yeah.
Talk more about that.
So that all started in Okoboji. This past summer, like we have a camper in Okoboji that we go for family time, and at the same time, I didn't have time to do pictures of new inventory for my store because I was busy being mom to 4 on summer vacation. So I just took it all with me, like my size of everything, and just hope that it fit because I'm an extra small and everything's size small. And so we would go on walks, we'd go to the lake, we would go down at Arnold's Park, and I'd be like, okay, yeah, look at him, he's like laughing, he's like, this was horrible. And I'd like, okay, take a picture, and then I would tag where we were at. And then all of a sudden my growth is growing, because people that are looking up that area are seeing Maxine's boutique is at this place. So then they start following me because they want that shirt. I can't tell you how many packages after that I shipped to the Okoboji area. Or people ask me, where's your store? Where's it at? I'm like, well, we're actually located in Woodbine. So then I got a hold of the Spirit Chamber of Commerce, which is right with Okoboji. And we actually popped up like every Thursday, meeting new customers up there, building our clientele. So,
that was a new one.
That was a new one for you?
That was a new one, not just for me, but like I think that piece is very important because I'm not an entrepreneur, but I am a connector and I love partnerships. So anytime there's an opportunity where any entrepreneur can connect their product to an area that they're not in, I travel based off of Instagram.
Yeah.
So I travel based off of social media. Like I do not go to Google and type in Okoboji and it's going to visit Okoboji, visit the city pages. But I shop and I travel based off of research off of Facebook and Instagram. So that to me, for any product, specifically when I talk to other business owners, that piece, the connected piece, the partnership piece, the making sure you stand your footprint in every area that you attend, your product is valuable and people will then want to learn more about it. I think that's something that a lot of e-commerce entrepreneurs are missing, is just because you're not there doesn't mean you're not there.
Right. You can ship anywhere.
Put yourself there. E-commerce is a global platform where anyone in the world can get in contact with you.
Yep.
So I think that was very important. I'm happy that you said that, and I think that's a valuable nugget that anyone should take with you. Awesome. Sorry, that stood out to me. So I'm gonna go here.
Yeah.
What are the pros and cons of having brick and mortar and online? Which one do you like better?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Pro and con wise, I would say pros are I'm a social person, so I like that interaction. With Little Threads, I have built so many relationships, and I've known when people come in trying to find a onesie to announce that they're pregnant, or they're looking for those maternity jeans, but they haven't told their family yet. And so, and then next, years later, they're 3 and 4 and they're running around my store with my kids. So to have those everlasting relationships and to be able to see kids in my community grow and for them to feel so welcome in my store. I mean, we have kids in the community that just walk to my store after school. Like that, they just know mom's going to be there, or I'm going with Maddie because her mom's there. We're going to stop in. And just that level of comfort and knowing it's a comfortable place for my community means so much to me. Con-wise, having a brick and mortar is not getting any cheaper. It's really not. And when you're doing more sales online than you are in store, it really makes you start to think. But at the same time, it's a very hard teeter-totter because, we have things in our community like Christmas events, like Bright Lights Little City coming up, and we want to be open. We have the Grinch in our windows. We're going to do stocking stuffers. We're going to have all of these amazing things and a really fun fundraiser for our school. And then at the same time, January is going to be completely dead, and probably the only sales I'm going to do is going to be online to other places that's not freezing cold like here. So it's just this constant teeter-totter of, okay, what's best? Am I making the best choice? And then you have months you're like, yeah, this is great. And then you have months you're like, crap. And, trying to figure it out, because meanwhile, with a brick and mortar, it comes with staff. You can't be there the whole time, like, especially with kids. And now I got this full-time job, guys. So it takes a lot. It's a lot. Little Threads right now, we are seeing so much more action online than in store that it's starting to make me reconfigure. I mean, 6 years, we've had to adapt to a lot, from not having a website at all, just being a brick and mortar, to COVID and having to get clever, to a website, to now it's like, hello, like I'm paying for people to be here, get your butts in there. Like, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of things to weigh out, because you miss the traffic and you miss, the sales when there's an event if you're not popping up.
So you mentioned you're getting more sales online. So what do you do? How do you fill that space in January when your online is popping but the store is not?
So, and I have this kind of rule where 2 weeks in July, 2 weeks in January, which if you're a retailer, the J months are the cursed months. You have to prepare for those months. They are the worst months to have a store, period, because people are spending money elsewhere instead of your store. So the 2 weeks in July, first 2 weeks, and typically the 2 weeks, first 2 weeks in January, we're closed. That's family time. That's time to clean. That's time to reorganize. I try to force my husband into building something else really cool for my store. He doesn't like it, but it takes time, and we do it. We get it done. So
how do you, with the online going much better than you think, how do you balance the demand of online and in store with your staff? So like, how does your staff interact between and servicing the online piece?
Right. So with Shopify, they're notified. They come in, they'll see the green bubble. We have this many orders to fill. So they do all those things. They fill the orders, they get it ready and packaged, they'll run it to the post office. They do all those small pieces as staff as well. Then they go ahead and they make their cute posts. They take pictures in clothes. They're updating, hey, we have this. They're uploading new things online when it comes to Little Threads, because they get so much in and out. So they do their fair share of keeping the websites and online going. but they are there to welcome customers as well when they come in.
So, do you ever run out of clothes? Like, between the two, if you're in the store because people purchasing online.
Yes, I do.
Like, how does your inventory cycle through? Like, how do you cycle through your inventory? What is the system? What is that process that you use to track of what's going out online and then what you're selling in store?
It is a very hard juggle. Very, very hard juggle. So this past summer, I ordered like crazy for summertime, even though like June and July is really slow, but I pushed. I will say this is the first year that at the end of summer when people started buying fall clothes, I was like, hey, I only have 10 pieces of summer clothing. Who wants them? $5. Just take it. Like, I was so proud of myself. I was like, I killed it. I did it. I ordered the right amount. I'm taking notes. I'm going to remember this for next year. And then fall came and we had our huge town festival, Apple Fest, and which our little 1,300 people town then goes to like 50,000 or something. It's insane. Car show, food trucks. I mean, block after block. And it was 103 degrees. And I ordered so much inventory and I didn't even hit last year's number. And so then I'm sitting here going, crap, like I need, like, because I'm very money conscious. I'm like, I need to sell the rest of this before I buy new inventory. We need to get rid of this. So I found as many pop-ups as I can around Omaha, and I've been taking it and I'm getting rid of it and all that stuff so that I can buy more inventory and more new things. Yeah. So right when you think you know you got it all together, you really don't have it all together.
Can you share some of the essential? So speaking on the systems and how you're keeping track, can you share some of the essential tools and platforms that have contributed to the success of your e-commerce business, both online and offline?
Yeah, so we use Shopify. I love Shopify because it's so user-friendly because I'm not tech savvy. But so all of our clothing at Maxine's has SKU numbers so that we can keep track of what has sold. That doesn't mean that every once in a while an employee will hit the wrong size. It does happen, but we do occasionally, I want to say at least once a month, go back through and double check inventory for online purposes because there's nothing worse than selling an item that you don't have. That's like the absolute worst thing. Little Threads, we use Shopify as well. We only SKU the items that we put online. We don't put everything online because if we did, we're talking like hours and hours and hours when you get hundreds and thousands of new items in a week and it's going back out. We only put what I call the owner's favorites or the best of the best or all the good name brand stuff online. And those items are SKU numbered. Everything else is not SKU numbered.
There's something I want you to talk about. I'm trying to figure out how to get you to talk
Oh
about
boy. Oh no.
How do you engage the local community through your physical store? And how has this impacted your overall brand identity, including online?
So I want to say this all started like with Little Threads. Being a resale store, honestly, I have items that start at like $1.95. We're not highly profitable unless people buy 50 items. So with that being said, we also are I've been told that we're like a community outreach center. And it's kind of true. When people have fires, I will go through and say, okay, what size clothing do you need? And I will fill up trash bags. I don't care. I'll take the tags off so I can keep track from my records. But here's clothes for all of your children. Here's clothes for the mom. Here's shoes. What else do you need? So I give back to the community quite a bit when it's a fire, foster care, just kids in need. Like I'll have teachers message me and say, hey, can I buy a coat and 5T? And I'm like, I'll give you a coat and 5T. You're not buying it. And so we constantly give and give and give. We might give a little more than I should for a good business. But because of that, people will choose to shop first with me because they know that I'm a place that is going to constantly take care of its community. Maxine's, because it's boutique, is a little bit different. We do a lot more of like gift card fundraisers. We do a lot more of gifts for our teachers. But every year we try to do, like around Christmas time, a Maxine Gives Back event. Last year we did it towards our negative lunch balance accounts. This year we are doing it towards any kind of negative account with our school. So we have a lot of families that are negative in their child care accounts, school account wise, like the beginning of the year school fees, and lunch accounts. So what happens is when people purchase stuff, they come in and purchase stuff knowing that a large portion of our profits or I'll match the profits and we will give back to our community that way. So just them knowing that, I'm not being greedy. I'm not like, oh yeah, I had all these sales. See, I'm going to Mexico. It really goes to, okay, what does my community need? How can I help? Who's next? What can we do?
What are the benefits that you reap? What are the business benefits that you reap from connecting your stores to your community?
People come to us first. Yeah, people come to us first. And that's what I appreciate. They'll sit here and say, hey, do you have this before I go to the city? Or can you get this for me? I want it in 2 weeks. And I will look for them because I appreciate them reaching out to me first. I'm not Amazon. I'm not Walmart. I'm not Target. I don't have this endless supply, but they will come to me first and ask, which I'm super grateful for, just because they know they are helping a small business that's giving back to the community.
I want to talk about Maxine.
Okay.
There's something very specific that you do your staff at Maxine. Can you talk about the connection of your staff with the school district?
So, okay, with Ignite.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? So Maxine's is really cool. We kind of do several things with Maxine's. We have special need helpers, but we also have partnered with Ignite Pathways, which is our regional educational center in Woodbine, which is extremely cool. If you're ever bored and want to look up the town of Woodbine. So they are a regional educational center where we have like state-of-the-art stimulators. Like our high school kids are getting pilot license and they're getting core credits for those things that like interest them. But we have like done things where students come in for math core credit. We had third graders. I loved this. It was so fun. And they got to pick out an outfit. They made the whole outfit. I mean, they got the handbags, they got the shoes, they got the pants, the top, the jewelry, and they laid it all out. And then I had to sit here and say, okay, so this cost this much and this cost this much. I gave them my cost. So they had to sit there and do the math of how much that outfit cost me. And then they had to do the math of, okay, this is on the tag. And so for math core credit for our fashion class, they got to sit here and learn about building profit, where I get my clothes, how we build those margins and all of those things. It was so cool. It really was the best time.
The reason why I want to talk more about that, because we have a lot of small business startups, who a lot of the owners are doing the work, all working on the departments themselves.
Right.
And sometimes they can't afford to hire a full-on staff, or if they do, they can't pay them what they may want to or feel that they are worth to pay to help them with their small business.
Right.
So can you talk more about the resources that are available to e-commerce entrepreneurs who are looking to hire staff as they seek to scale and grow their business?
Right.
Not just be one person.
So I know like Nebraska has the internship where you can get help that way. But I always say look at your local schools and see if there is a business program, because you might find business students where instead of having to pay them, it can be a core credit for their classes to learn, and then they come and they can learn those things. There's lots of different programs, and it really depends. I know our state and our school specific is a little bit different than Nebraska, because you guys have the internship that we've been talking about. But if you can reach out to your schools and if they have a business program and you say, hey, would anybody be interested in this? Or, maybe you have them work on things on their website and they're getting a social media core class credit and all that stuff, partner with them, because that's not only a benefit to you, but it's also a benefit for them to have those real life experiences.
And were you able to gain exposure to those particular partners?
Oh, yes.
For your businesses? In what way?
it sounds bad, but I feel like it makes your business look really good. You know what I mean? It looks good that you're willing to work and educate children and young adults and help them grow in many different ways, many different angles.
Has it helped locally?
Yes. Yeah, of course, always.
What time is it?
I don't
I
know.
have a really good conversation. I'll try to wrap it up a little bit here. What is your vision for the future of your boutique? Do you have any plans on closing your brick and mortars, or one of them, or both of them? Are you seeking to go completely online? Are you looking to like where is Maxine's a little bit going as it relates to its physical location and online?
So Maxine's is the only retail in my whole town. I feel like if I close it, we would be kicked out with pitchforks and chased out of town very quickly. So that has to stay. In fact, I've been trying to encourage more. I'm like, come on, guys. Like, we need more retail in town. We have really good restaurants, but we need more retail. Like, let's do this. So that will probably remain for a very, very, very long time. Little Threads, it's in a different town. It's in Harlan, Iowa. That one I've been really considering just doing online. I've been considering doing a warehouse here at Elevator, but that's all Nezzie's fault. But anyway, but just because of the aspect of doing so much more online, I also don't like, this makes a huge difference. I don't own my building in Harlan, but I own my building in Maxine. So the mortgage is so much cheaper than rent. And that does make a huge difference with how profitable you are. But yeah, Little Threads, I have some ideas in mind that's like brewing. I think I would like to start like a subscription box kind of service. I have no idea where to start with that. I have been trying to figure that out. I've been asking people and trying to connect with people that would know how to do those things. And going mostly online. But Maxine's will have to remain just because my community needs it. And I'm very community first. So
are there any lessons that you've learned that you think would be valuable for other e-commerce entrepreneurs, especially as someone who did not desire to go into this business, owning anything, whether it's brick and mortar or online? What advice or what lessons can you provide that will be valuable to the other entrepreneurs in the room?
Lessons. I want to say, if you're going to have your own retail business, brick and mortar or e-commerce, just be prepared. It's a lot of work. I mean, I think a lot of people look in our windows and they think that, oh, we just have it all together. It's all peaceful and blah, blah, blah. But really what it comes down to is I'm working my butt off. Like, I work here, I go home, make sure the kids have dinner, they're in bed, and I go work at my stores at night, some nights until midnight, just to catch up on orders or do more pictures or, process inventory, just because I'm also a really nice boss and I don't like to leave a lot for my employees. But I mean, it's not. No. I don't like to leave them like feeling overwhelmed. But it's just so much work, and they say it gets easier, and it does. I've not quite figured out if it's easier because I've just gotten better at not sleeping, or if it's because of just over time, it does get easier if you have the right employees. When it comes down to employees, it's very, very important to make sure that they have their roles. They know what lane they're in, what their main focus is, to drive those skills to make your business better. I have learned that I can't just hire people to open the door. I can't. I've made that mistake so many times. I need someone that's going to be there to make the money while they're there. They need to be able to make their wage. And they all need to have a specific role. I have one that's better with online posting, and I have one that's better with organizing. And you know what? That needs to be what they do. I'm trying to think what else. Oh, this is being recorded. But yeah, it's very hard. I mean, staff-wise, I had one employee that didn't even know how to count change, and I kept her on for months, and I even tried to work on it with her because sometimes I can be a little too soft. but it was very long. My drawer was up $80. My drawer was down $100. And it was just kind of all over the place. But, you know, it's very difficult. It's a very difficult teeter-totter all the time. Some days you feel like you're making $1 million and you're on top of the world and it's going to be great from here on out. And then some days you're just like, oh, crap, what did I do? But if you're living your passion and you're chasing your dreams, it all comes down to that. Are you making a difference? Are you happy? Is it feeding your soul? Because if so, you're doing great. And that's why you have to take it one day at a time.
My last question, and then I'll let someone in the audience ask you about investing and investments. But my last question to you, because I started off the interview with throwing this out. What made you, as a successful entrepreneur, brick-and-mortar and online, with 2 businesses doing really well to the point where you can release them, what made you want to come to Elevator as the community manager and work for someone else? Because for me, guys, that stood out to me. I was like, why? You want to come and work for me?
This isn't.
What made you come to that point where you're like, I want to go, this role stands out to me. I want to do this. I see myself here. And I'm going to staff my stores. I'm going to go off. I'm going to do what I ultimately love to do. What is that?
So I think it was like, what, a year ago? Over a year ago. I honestly was feeling very burnt out. Like 6 years focusing on my stores. I just was like kind of over it. I was like, I just want to do something else a little bit more. I always felt like my cup was so full working at the hospital because I was constantly giving. And that's why my business is I'm constantly giving, because that's how I fill my cup. I give love and I feel better. And so I actually went and had a interview with a business in Okoboji, and the interview then turned into me kind of telling her all the resources that I use and how I got my business going. And I was like, okay, that didn't turn out how I thought it was going to go because I just kind of helped her. And we went out to eat, and I said, you know what? My dream job would be working with small businesses, connecting them, helping them grow, planning events, doing networking things, and just basically being an ear to help anybody with a small business. That would be my dream job. And we're just kind of like, haha, yeah, that doesn't exist. We're drinking our wine. And so then we go home. And I continue on my journey being mom and with the small businesses. I basically hire full-time staff because at that point, Rory, our youngest, who's 3, wasn't in school yet. So I basically attended to her most of the time and walked her to preschool and sang songs and did the whole mom thing. And then one day I'm sitting there and I'm looking online, just checking things out. And I see this post in the lit group from Nezzy. And it's like, hey, we're looking for somebody that loves business collaborations and networking and event planning. And I'm like, oh my God, it does exist. And I screenshot it and I said to my husband, I'm like, look, I'm like, I'm applying. I didn't even say it. I was like, I'm applying. I'm doing it. We're going to see what happens. And so here I am. But I love it. It fills my cup. It fills my cup to know that I'm making a difference, helping our community members grow their businesses. I'm here for the hard conversations because, hey, I bet you I've had to deal with that too. And just being a support is kind of the best way to put it, I guess.
Absolutely. I'm excited to have you here. With your experience and your background, I felt that you were the best fit because of your background, as it directly relates to people that are sitting in this room today and the people that has space, that take space inside of this building. So I thought it was very important to have someone here who would be potentially growing in this business and would be able to have direct conversations as an entrepreneur to another entrepreneur about how to do exactly what this floor has said here, how to grow your business. So that's why you're here, and having the story that you have is very valuable. And that's why I was excited to have you as our speaker today for e-commerce and friends, as it not only speaks to other business, but it directly correlates with the values and the goals that we're trying to have here at Elevator as it relates to help other small businesses. So what I would like to do is shut up right now, and I open the floor for questions that you may have.
Yeah, I have a question. Let me make sure I understood you right. And you were saying the online has taken off more than the brick and mortar. Have you only noticed that since COVID, or did you have that problem before?
I honestly can say only since COVID, because I've only had a website since COVID. So, but I noticed lately, like within the past year, it's even more so. And I think it's people just trying to be more intentional with their purchases with the economy right now.
Because I've also had that happen in my business.
Did you?
So, yeah, during COVID, it was one way, now it's a different way.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
And before, I did years before, it was the one way, and then COVID came and it all changed.
Yeah, it makes you have to pivot.
How are you driving traffic? Are you driving specifically through social, or do you do like you get it from organic search, or how's that working?
So we do have like Google, so for organic search wise, but I'm very big on our Facebook. I try to do better at Instagram. I'm not the best. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not the best. Or TikTok, not the best at that.
How about Pinterest?
About what?
Pinterest? I don't have Pinterest yet. I know. I need to get my stuff going. But no, Facebook is basically my prime. But I think that's also because the people that shop at my store, that's kind of like their era of social media, if that makes sense. What? I do lives, yeah. I do not like doing lives. Yeah, I don't like doing them. I'm not gonna lie. I don't like it at all. But it's okay. We got to do it. Yeah. But Facebook, and I learned like through the Boutique Hub that you shouldn't just have a Facebook page. It's also really important to have a group, because the way Facebook's algorithm works, they show groups more than just business pages. So that I started that and kind of grew that, hey, join us over here. We're doing a $25 gift card giveaway. Get over here, and stuff like that to build up that oomph. So, yeah.
So you do have an actual online community.
Yes, we have a group.
Where are they?
What do you mean?
So are they just on Facebook, or are they in other areas?
I would say mostly Facebook. We have Instagram and TikTok. So
But your engagement is on
the Facebook majority by far. Yeah. Yes. Oh, sorry.
I was just going to ask about shipping, because since with mostly e-commerce piece, like since we're 100% e-commerce, and a quick shout out to Casey. Supportive spouses make the but it seems like since the COVID generation, and with the proliferation of Amazon ruling the world right now, and people are used to Prime and not paying shipping.
Yeah.
And
they want it tomorrow.
They want it tomorrow, and they want it free delivery. Like, what have you done on that? And has it pivoted over time? Because I struggle with that. Like, we launched not knowing COVID was going to get huge there, but we've never adjusted like our base prices, because we kind of built that in. We've always offered free shipping. You don't get to pick your speed, because we are, like I said, a top shop, just like you guys. But have you decided, like, what do you do with your shipping? And it has gone up so much in the last 3 years of like we're reconsidering charging customers now versus we're changing the pricing. Like, how have you adjusted to that, or how do you handle that? Because it has the last 3 years been crazy increases in shipping, and rates have slowed down, and prices and inflation, everything has gone up. Like, how are you balancing that, and how do you change your approach at all?
So when we first started, it was like, oh yeah, I think it was like $40 and you get free shipping. Now it's $75. You have to spend $75 to get free shipping at Maxine. With Little Threads, because items are much lower, I think I did $40. But yeah, it's crazy how it's changed so much over time. Do you use Shopify? What do you use? Okay. Do you have any of the shipping apps included onto your Shopify? Like Rollo does one, Pirate Ship.
No, we just use their own Shopify discount.
Do you have a label printer yourself? Is it Rollo?
No, it was one we bought ourselves.
Okay.
And we just do it all ourselves.
Yeah, I would suggest adding in the app Pirate Ship. it doesn't save you millions, but it saves you like 50 cents to $1 sometimes. And you got to think after 100 packages, hey, that's $100 that it saves you. When it comes to boosting up the prices, I mean, everything's boosting up right now. If you have to do it, you can't feel bad about it. I mean, that's just the economy and just trying to survive, whether you do it in your price point or your shipping point.
So
Prime's what, 150 a year now?
I think so, something like that.
And so I canceled my Prime, and then I ordered a book off Amazon, 30 days
Oh my
to get it to
gosh,
me. And that's with paying the shipping.
that's crazy.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So right now they do have to spend a few to get free shipping.
Yes.
And do you mark things up that you post online versus if people bought it in the store?
No, it's the same price across. But yeah, you have to spend a certain amount to get free shipping, or else it's going to be calculated shipping. Like, we weigh our items, so we have it like spot on.
Probably depends on your customer base too. I mean, if you've got a loyal following, our customers are kind of loyal followers.
Yes, yeah.
So,
And a lot of them, honestly, they might like pick online, like shop online, but they will come in and pick it up. But then we're dealing with another hassle, because I have had packages sitting there for a year. And I'm like, hey, let me ship this to you because it's taking up space. They're like, oh, no, I'll be in next week to get it. And then they don't come. And so like, it gets to be this point. It's like, okay, at what point can I just donate this item to charity? Because one, I'm not going to put it back out. And two, I'm so tired of seeing it. So that always becomes kind of a hassle too.
Is there such thing as shelf life?
There needs to be something in my rule book about that. But it's just hard to find that happy medium, because you don't want to upset your customer, and they bought it and you're happy they bought it, but we're also storing it. So
Subscription box is great.
I think so too. I think it'd be a really cool.
And there are mail things that still get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, for sure.
Yeah. It'll be an interesting task.
I think we had a question over here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. The shipping conversation is an interesting conversation, so I think I'll actually follow up on that. I feel like you also have in e-commerce a whole meeting about shipping, but from a consumer behavior, like what you've gathered over time, do you feel like the consumers are more apt to buy if there's free shipping, or do you feel like over time you notice they've got turned off if they have to pay for the shipping? Does that make sense?
I don't. I think it depends. Like, I feel like by saying, hey, if you spend this much, you get free shipping, they're going to be like, oh, well, I can buy $50 worth of items and then have to pay $12 for shipping. So I might as well buy that extra sweater because, yeah. So then it also kind of pushes your sales to go up a little bit. So you do kind of have to eat those costs. So, but I'll be honest, I don't get very many returns. I think I've gotten maybe 2. Yeah. So, but that's also because I'm very personable with my customers, where it's like, I was at ICANN, and the lady bought a dress, and apparently part of the seam had like the tiniest hole in it. And she was like, hey, I'll ship this back to you. Can I get another one in this size? And I'm like, I have that size. I go, but if she shipped it to me, I couldn't resell it. Like, you know what I mean? It has a hole. So I basically told her, I was like, you keep it. If you feel like repairing it and give it to a friend, do that. And here, I'll send you the new dress. So then for her, she was like, okay, this was great customer service, because I got back to her quickly. I didn't give her the hassle of having to package something and ship it back to me. Did I eat a little bit of money because it was damaged? Yes. But now she has ordered almost monthly from me. So it's like sometimes it might cost you a little bit for those customers, but once you make them happy and they know that they can trust you and order from you, and it's going to get there and you're going to have excellent customer service, they're like, hey, you're my person. Like, she's made Instagram stories and tagged me in it, I mean, almost like monthly. And I'm like, I've only seen this person once in my life. I don't know who she is, really. I saw her in a crowd of people, So it's really good, just, personal relationships.
Handwritten thank you notes are big. Nobody does.
Yes.
You're it.
Do you have a shipping policy, a return policy?
Yeah, so we return policy-wise, I believe it has to be returned within 15 days, in which you get store credit. So for like
we had a little while, we had a couple people that would come in and buy a whole bunch of stuff and then return it, and then you could tell they may have worn it once with the tags on and all that stuff. So we had to get kind of like, okay, now we put tags in the armpits, not on the clothing tag, because that way you're not gonna wear that out with my gigantic tag hanging there, you know? So we've had a couple incidents like that where we've learned where, okay, 15 days, it cannot be worn, you know, it can't smell like your perfume the night before. If I see a picture of you wearing it on Facebook last week and you're trying to return and say this is not going to work. So I've had to learn to pivot, for sure.
Does it make a difference, does it make a difference, the timeline of when they should return? Does that make a difference? I understand it makes a difference on like the wearing and then like being able to tell it's been worn. But it doesn't make a difference in the cost.
In the cost, like for me?
Yeah.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It just depends on the item. It depends on how hot the item was. Sometimes I get a return and I'm like, freaking sweet, this person wanted this in the medium. And, you know, I can text them real quick like, hey, I got one for you, you know. Then there's times like, dang it, like, just trying to get rid of the sweaters. Like, you know, it really depends on the piece. So.
What would you, I've been trying to think how to frame my wording for this. Being that you started off as like someone who didn't want to, you know, do clothing or retail, getting into this and not really knowing anything, how or what would you recommend to someone just starting in the retail business? Kind of like in my head getting started, I wish there was someone that, yeah, I don't want to take all your time and, you know, waste it by you giving me like free knowledge and stuff. But I would imagine like getting someone that could like be willing to tell me like, hey, I made this mistake. You probably want to do this, or you probably want to maybe go this route or like do that. What would you recommend for somebody maybe like looking for something like that?
I have done it lots of times. I've had people call me from the other side of the state in Iowa and say, hey, I was given your information. I'm starting a children's boutique. Can you give me some insight? And like, I will tell, it's so funny. I will tell you it all. Even at the local collective event this past weekend, I had people asking me, where did you get your racks? Or, you know, where did you order these? And I really like that. I'm like, I'm probably not supposed to do that. But I just feel like we're all in it together. I mean, it's a struggle.
So that's how I feel. I feel like we're all in it together, and like most times it feels like people gatekeep, and it's like it's if I try to check myself, like how much can I ask without off-putting someone, like, oh, you're kind of asking too much. Like, I'm not going to tell you this, or you shouldn't be asking another person that. I kind of fight between that and what I should ask, how much is okay to ask, or you know.
Sorry. I might step out for 1 second.
Yeah. No.
But feel free. Ask me anything.
So what you're asking about something that we at Elevator are trying to eliminate. Mm-hmm. So we have multiple candle businesses here. Mm-hmm. We have multiple clothing boutiques here. We now have two businesses that you know are addressing the concerns that surround having a period. Mm-hmm. And so what we are eliminating is that competitiveness, because the lanes are long and they're wide, and your niche is what your brand and your marketing entails you to do, like how you're setting it up. That is the important piece and component to you having a children's boutique, and how you represent your brand and how you market it and how you build your audience. Mm-hmm. At Elevator, one thing that we made sure to, the reason why we are adding community to our business model is because everybody's going through the same thing. Mm-hmm. Everybody's going through the same thing. So if we are providing you a space, like to operate, whether that's produce your items for your business, providing you full service shipping and logistics, and also fulfillment. Not only are you able to do that here, but you are surrounded by other people who are doing the exact same thing or something similar that can help you. And then that's why I mentioned it was important. She was an important hire to us because she comes directly from that background. And with that plethora of knowledge, I'm a connector. I can go out here and I can build partnerships. I'm full of resources, so I can connect you to the funding that you need. I can connect you to other entrepreneurs. I can connect you to whatever you say. Hey, Nandi, here's my list of things I need. Find that person. I can find that. But there's nothing like having another entrepreneur that can be like, here's these little nuances that you can shift from. Here's something that you can improve upon. So that is very valuable and that is very important. And those people that you're specifically looking for in that question exist in this space. So that is something that has stood out to me being an implant. There's a lot of gatekeeping, but that is something that Shannon and Emiliano, who are co-founders, are trying to break. Because Shannon, who had an e-commerce business online, that's the part that she was missing, not along with having a space to do that, and the flexibility that she needed. So I think being able to connect to people who are willing to provide us the information, not being threatened, because everyone has their own audience, everyone has their own community that they are selling to. That's why marketing and branding is extremely important component to the business. So I think specifically for you, we've had our conversations, and I know specifically with Lisa as well, we've had our conversations, making sure that you get connected to someone. If you can't find anyone outside of Elevator, come in. And there are many ways you can do that. And I'm pretty sure Emily will be a good person to connect with. Yeah. Specifically
listening to her, I was like, I need to get him.
Are you looking at opening a store? Or
yes, I'm wanting to open a all boys boutique for boys starting newborn to 12 years of age. So,
love it. That's a hard one.
I just have so many questions.
Yeah.
That's a hard one.
Sorry, 3-year-olds like to share jerks. But yeah, anytime you have any questions or anything else, you can also email me and we can set up coffee too. Yeah, I'd be happy to answer any questions and help any way that I can at all. For sure.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Any other questions? If not, we're going to wrap it up. Everyone, please give a round of applause to Emily. She's extremely nervous, but I think you did very well. This is our first interview style e-commerce in France. So
that's because I was like, if I'm going up there, you're going up there.
But oh my God, this was an amazing conversation. If you guys have any additional questions for Emily, I'm pretty sure she would be happy to give you her business card.
Ooh, I got them finally.
So that you can connect with her. Please follow her Little Threads on, where can we follow you?
Facebook and Instagram.
And what are those tags?
Little Threads Resale and then Maxine's Boutique Woodbine.
Awesome. And then continue to follow Elevator. Continue to keep up with our upcoming e-commerce and friends events. Share it with your friends. Share it with other business owners that you are connected with. We have some really great speakers coming next year, and I'm excited to show them about it. But from here, see you guys in 2024. We are excited to see you. We would love to see your face. You should be here. But until then,